If you're an in-home salesperson, why should you never break down a bid for a buyer, and why does it matter? This is a fantastic question. I'm Scott Bell, coming to you live for HVAC Technician Sales Secrets on a perfect day to talk about sales and business, and a fantastic day to talk about you. We're talking about breaking down bids and why it's a bad idea. So there's a couple things that you need to know. In the world of contracting, when you have a general contractor, they're at the top, they're called the prime. That is the prime contractor. That is the company. That's the dude. That's the chick that's running the show. And if they have a bunch of subcontractors, it's not uncommon for them to go to the sub and say, hey, here's what I want to know. Here's all your pricing and here's how you're doing it. And sometimes you'll meet with Mr. Smith, Mrs. Jones, Mrs. Jones, and all of a sudden they think that they are a prime contractor, right? But they're not. They are a client. You should not break down a bid for them, because when you take a look at it, they're not going to understand your intangibles. So most people in the world of business do not know how to read a profit statement. Most consumers in the world of life do not understand the difference between revenue and profit. So you can get your full pieces of equipment, your air conditioner, your coil, your furnace for, I don't know, $3,000. We're going to peg that at $3,000. Okay. Well, if you go take a construction course in college, they're going to tell you that you multiply that $3,000 roughly by 4 to 7. So that's how you kind of figure out what the cost of that job should be, right? So let's say we multiply it times 4. All right, $12,000. Let's say we multiply it times 7, $21,000. Just depends upon what it's going to take for permits, ancillary items, time on the job. We only have 2 inputs. We've got time and materials. That's it. That's actually on the California State Licensed Contracting Board test, because I have a General B in California. So I do know this, okay? So we only have time and materials. That's it. Those are the only 2 inputs. But there's also all the intangibles like marketing and healthcare and everything that goes in the line items for running that business, and training and coaching and consulting. And I don't know, the list just goes on and on and on. But to a consumer, they look and they're like, $3,000 for equipment, it should only cost $6,000, right? And at the end of the day, even colleges, even though they're wrong sometimes, are right about this, that number should be somewhere between 4, 8, 9, 10 times, depending upon what you're going to do, right? You want that company to be around. You want that company to be in the business for the long run. You want them to have a healthy profit so they can come out. It's interesting, as a side note, some of the conversations that I get on the channel say that you should charge the least amount possible, and that's the target or the delta that you could be working for. Okay, well, there are some companies that work on that. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not my business model. There's a but for every seat in the world of contracting, and there are the people who are the value-based. I'm going to do it as cheap as I can, as low as I can, and I'm going to cut every corner to make that happen, right? And then there's the people who are like, I believe in a healthy profit, because if there's a downturn in the economy, I have the ability to sustain, or I believe in profit and capitalism and I love money, right? I'm more at the end of, hi, my name's Scott. I love tacos and money and barbecue sauce. I like all those things. And this right here is why you should join HVACTechSecrets.com. I'll give you the goods, not in the Facebook group, not in the YouTube channel, which means private coaching, private training, discounted coaching, discounted training. You should absolutely freaking charge as much as you can for what you do, okay? So, you know, these people who tell me, hey, Scott, I want to see a lower price. I'm going to tell you, like, have you ever gone to your boss and asked for a bid, for a raise, excuse me? Yeah, like you've asked for money. You said that you want more money. And like now all of a sudden it's wrong for a company to do the same thing because of bad capitalism bad, right? Now, last on this list is there are arrangements that you may have with a manufacturer. I'm not spilling any secret that most companies don't know is, you know, the bigger that you get, the better negotiation power you have for buying equipment. And some manufacturers will disclose to say, you have to keep what you buy those condensers for secret. You have to keep what you buy those coils for secret, because like there's different levels. Every manufacturer, if you're a homeowner, you're like, this is gosh darn it wrong. Every manufacturer has levels to their purchasing. I promise you they do. I promise you. I know this. They do. And so what will happen is if you start disclosing, hey, here's how much this part or piece costs as a company, they may come back and go, hey, this isn't going to work. I saw this happen over financing. Cut sheet wasn't supposed to be shared, and it was shared in a presentation and I got blamed for it, right? And so big, giant, billion-dollar company comes to me and goes, hey, Scott, cut sheet that belonged to company XYZ you worked for. How come that wasn't a presentation? I'm like, wow, I don't know. Well, I found out later how that cut sheet got into somebody else's hands caused me a lot of problems because it was something that we had signed an agreement that it wasn't supposed to be shared. And so there's things inside of a business and all the parts and pieces that the manufacturers go, great, we will sell you that condenser, that coil, that furnace for XYZ price, and it's lower than everybody else pays in the market because of your volume, right? It's one of the reasons why, like, you do need to get to a watermark in your business where you're producing a certain level of activity in that business. So I'm going to bring all this around. Why should you never break down a bid? Because the people that you're talking to are not going to understand it. And there is a small chance that person's not your client, right? If they want to micromanage your product and they're like, hey, I don't believe that you should make this much profit off of me. You're like, oh, well, I don't think I should come back on time and take care of the service, or I don't think that I shouldn't have to charge you for warranty. Look, there's a saying in sales, either way you're going to pay. And you may think that you're going to win by getting this low rock bottom price if you're a consumer. At the end of the day, somehow you're going to get charged. I promise you, either the company's going to go out of business or you're going to get charged. You got one of three things to do from here, just one of three. Find the subscribe button, click on it. Every time I send out a video, you'll get an update. 2, hit follow. 3, you know what you got to do. Share this video with a friend. Don't break down bids. We'll see you soon.